Yeah, yeah. One West. Yeah, easy. I'm sorry. Me need a break. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We work hard in a life, hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and a dig it in a road and a live no life. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now me a seek time for myself and me a shell down some party. Me stress, me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to that girl inna the beach dress. The body a roll, she a the neatest. She nah no man, nah that a the weakness. So me the in her ears, but not like a real pest. Nah, just a move with a vibe. Think how we a pour, the mood is alive. If you do 9 to 5, I know you a get rich, you do realize. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now we are poor kulu rump on Tennessee with Campari. That is it. Move to that girl, the body thing. What is it? You know see me attack loud the politics. Watch it twist. No one see no ratchet flick, no matic click. No negative energy, a positive. One way I keep the peace and no magic trick. We are dance till in icon. We are groove, we are vibe. And no care, no fear right off. Make it on with your life. Me say, me no want see you leave yet. Me no want see you depressed. We are party for de-stress. We work hard in a life. Hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and I mash up the road and I live no life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Me stress. Me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to that girl inna the peach dress. The body a roll, she a the neatest. She nah no man, so that a the weakness. So me the inna it here, that a no real test. Nah. Alright, clap it up. Welcome again to another ISUPK Jamaica Wednesday night law class. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Kayad 1 from ISUPK Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Barakathum to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh to my sisters. Alright, so the ISUPK, for those who, you know what I mean, haven't heard about us, we are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We are those who came out, you know what I mean, with the truth that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews. The Israelites written off in the Bible are the very people that were enslaved over here under the white man. See, the oppressor enslaved God people, and he's going to pay for it. See? That's the truth. That's the truth of the Bible. That is the reason why when your pastor, you know what I mean, reads the Bible, it makes no sense to you. And it don't add up with what is going on in the Christian church. Because they have this tree currently in the Christian church. And we're going to show you in the Bible that the Bible itself, the Most High, hates this tree. And this is not a new thing. This very practice of decorating this tree, this evergreen tree, have been around for thousands of years. We're going to show you the origin of it. You know what I mean? We'll show you where it starts. And we're going to show you that Christianity is really practicing idolatry when they celebrate Christmas. I'm going to show you that Christmas wasn't always called Christmas. It was changed to Christmas to suit the modern era of Christians who claim that them follow Christ. But the practice of Christmas has nothing at all to do with Christ. You understand? As a matter of fact, it was the very people who unalived Christ and persecuted Christ's nation, race of people, and enslaved them who created Christmas. You know what I mean? So without further ado, on the top of the screen, like, share, follow, depending on the platform you're watching on. Again, we are the ISUPK Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. All right, so we're going to get straight into it now. See? One second. All right. I'm going to figure out a way how to get this on the screen because we open it in a different window. Give me a second. All right, we now see the share option, apparently due to the different accounts. All right, 1 second. Let's see. All right, you now have to probably bear with me, you know. Might not can share it on screen, but just here when I read. See? All right, so we're going to talk about the origin of Christmas. We're going to start there. I mean, we know all of Christianity is getting ready to celebrate Christmas, right? Even though in today's age, the Christian church have already conceded. They have already admitted, like if you ask your pastor if Jesus was born on December the 25th, he might go tell you, no. Once upon a time, they used to do that, you know, like, I go far as about 20 years ago. When you ask your pastor if Jesus was born on December 25th, they would have said, yeah, December 25th is the birthday of Jesus Christ. But because the truth came out through the ISUPK throughout the years that Jesus wasn't born in the winter. The Bible says Jesus was born around springtime. No, if you ask a Christian pastor when Jesus was born, he will tell you springtime. But then the question remains. So if Jesus was born in springtime, why you celebrate Christmas? Why you celebrating birthday on December the 25th? Them now have an answer for give. Because Christmas was never about Jesus. You understand? Christmas was more about pagan culture being pushed through Christianity that your Christian pastor have no say in. Your pastor have no say in what he teach you. Your pastor can't read the Bible and discover that, oh, Jesus is black. And then decide that he's going to teach you that Jesus is black. He have to stick to the script for the most part, unless he build up a church around one part somewhere and can teach whatever comes to imagination. Your Christian pastor can't learn that the children of Israel are black people, Hispanics, and Native Indian, and decide that, you know what, me as a Baptist pastor, I find out the truth now, I'm going to teach that. I'm going to get fired. Your pastor is just an employee to the bigger establishment of whichever denomination he work under. He have to make sure him stick to the script. A Seventh-day Adventist preacher can't just decide that, you know what I mean? You have to know, keep the Passover. Like the Bible said. They'll get kicked out of the church. Which means what? Your pastor don't have the freedom of choice. It's whatever the oppressor who owns all those denominations say the doctrine is what your pastor will give you. You understand? He might go tell you whatever the oppressor want him to tell you throughout whichever denomination you are a part of. See? So it is
the Christian church that push all of them practice here from the beginning, and that is why you practice these things today. That is the reason why you have a Christmas tree in your house, whether or not you go to a Christian church. You probably have never went to church in decades, but you still have a Christian tree in your house, CMA, which means what? You're a Christian. You know what I mean? And sidebar a bit, but this is what we mean when we say our people have become Christians. You might have not gone to a church, you know what I mean, in decades, or the only time you ever set foot in our church is when somebody have a burial or a wedding, right? But you're still a Christian because you celebrate Christian practices like Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, birthday, all of them things which have pagan origins comes from Christianity. So you're a Christian. No, saying that you're a Christian, is that a good thing? That's the worst name you could ever be called on the face of the earth, along with other religions. You know, if you ask me, Christianity is the chief religion of the oppressor. I mean, there's no question about it. It's the oppressor's religion. So that's the chief evil on the face of the earth. Christianity, if you are a Christian or you practice Christian practices, you are the furthest away from God you could possibly be. And you might ask yourself, how could that be? How could that be when I grew up learning that Christianity is the way? You learn that because the oppressor says that's the way. But because you are a Christian, now you are the furthest away from God as you could possibly be. You are further away from God than the man in prison who is not a Christian, that have committed crimes. Being a Christian, a God Sunday church going Christian, puts you the furthest away from the God of the Bible. Makes you a direct enemy of God. You are further away from God than the man in the street committing crimes that says he's not a Christian. And I'm not condoning the man in the street committing crimes. I'm telling you that you being a Christian, you are worse than him. Because him have hope. In most cases, a Christian mind has no hope. Because a Christian mind is taught to believe that they have found God and they have found salvation. You understand? And anything opposing that is not of God and is of Satan. So right away you have this delusion that Christians have that continues them, you know what I mean, them distant from God. It's hard to convince a Christian that what they believe in is wrong, even when you show them the proof. That is the strength and the power of the Christian witchcraft. It's the strongest on the face of the earth, and the oppressor have fine-tuned that throughout the ages, throughout, you know what I mean, our captivity. And now our people are proud Christians. When in time past, we died before we became Christians because we knew better. Now, your grandmother will shout the name of Jesus, hallelujah, on her deathbed, thinking that she's going to go to heaven. You know what I mean? That is the strength of Christianity. And because of Christianity, now everybody is getting ready to celebrate an abomination tomorrow. You understand? So we have a read. But now we can share this by the screen. My apologies to those watching on Facebook and YouTube. You know what I mean? But we're going to just read this in. So this says the origin of Christmas. So in time past, Christmas was called, before it became Christmas, it was known as Saturnalia, or the winter solstice. You know what I mean? So let me read. Nowadays, the Christmas celebration evokes image of gifts, lights, delicacies, and family gathering. Who doesn't like these? The spirit of Christmas is spoken of as a feeling of goodwill for all. This is the image of Christmas we have today. However, its past is a little more somber. Would it surprise you to know that the tradition related to Christmas were kept long before the birth of Jesus Christ? And to any person who really cares about the Bible, this statement should come as a problem. So you are telling me that Christmas existed before Christ? But I thought Christmas was about the birth of Christ. So if it existed before Christ, what is it about? And why are we lying to ourselves that this is about Christ? I mean, if you love the Bible, you love Christ, you're supposed to, I should think that you want to think that you love Christ, right? You love Christ. So knowing that Christmas has nothing to do with Christ should be offensive to you. Because you go in that church and you shout out, Jesus, hallelujah. Praise Jesus. The beautiful name, and you know what I mean? No name greater than the name of Jesus, because the Christian church taught you that Jesus was God. See? So you worship Jesus, you pray to Jesus instead of God, the Father. You pray to Jesus instead of the Father. So I would assume that Christians love Jesus. So if Christmas existed before Jesus, you should feel as if you were robbed and deceived. And this should be offensive to you and the love that you have for Jesus. All right, let's read. Let's continue. Christmas is considered today to be a Christian celebration, but its origins are more related with ancient Babylon. Yo, we here in Jamaica, we born Babylon, you know. And we usually refer to the police and the government as Babylon, but people know where the term Babylon mean. Babylon mean ancient Babylon in the Bible. Babel, or the Tower of Babel, you know what I mean, which we equate Babylon with an abomination. Jane, Babylon is the worst society. It and Sodom and Gomorrah, the worst society you can think of because of the Bible. Jane, well, Christmas don't come from Jesus. It comes from that same ancient Babylonian practice. Let's continue. So it's a Babylon, Greece. Why Greece? Well, before Greece, you had Babylon. See, after Babylon, you had different kingdoms, and thousands of years later, you had what? Greece. Greece is what? Greece is the white man's kingdom. That's the beginning of the white man's rulership on the face of the earth. Greece, ancient Greek, where them do all sorts of LGBT activities and child abusing. Greek is known for that. During the time of the Maccabees, we were under Greek captivity, and the Maccabee brothers and their father, Mattathias, fought the Greeks and gained their freedom. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, because the Greeks were their enemies, they eventually sided with the Romans, the Greeks' brothers, and fell in a snare, a trap. You know what I mean? So after Greek, this reads, and Rome. So Christmas started in Babylon, ended up in Greek, and then Rome. But they weren't called Christmas. But it was the same practice. See? It's just rebranded. See? And you are getting ready to celebrate this abomination tomorrow. And then you are going to pray to Jesus and God to bless you And this an abomination day. The people you go out there and you go get robbed. Somebody will pick your pocket and take away your paycheck. You understand? You're going to have sex with some prostitute, some down low whore, and you're going to catch AIDS. Because tomorrow is an accursed day. Tomorrow is cursed. Christmas is cursed. And that is the reason why you have the most problem during this time. Because this day called Christmas is cursed. It has nothing at all to do with our King Yahweh Shai Mashiach, which the Christian church taught you that he was a white man and that his name was Jesus. It has nothing at all to do with him, but it has to do with an ancient Babylonian practice that when I show you the origin, the real origin of it, you would know why celebrating Christmas is celebrating the birthday of somebody who is a direct enemy to God. When I say enemy, of course, nobody can do God nothing. But you are siding with a man that wanted to, he thought that he could fight God. But we're going to show you later on. See? So we just show you the level of betrayal to the God that you claim you serve. Is you celebrating Christmas is. I don't know if I said that right a while ago. We just try and make you know whose side you are on when you celebrate Christmas tomorrow. And then you pray for a blessed new year. After this, just know, say, this is what you are doing. Let me continue reading this. So it said, but its origin are more related with ancient Babylon, Greece, and Rome than with the people of the God and the Bible. Right. The people of the God and the Bible. Right. Why say the people of the God of the Bible? Black people, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the people of the Bible, the Israelites. It's an even greater sin when these people celebrate Christmas. Because Christianity taught us that it was about our King, Jesus Christ, or Yahweh Shai Mashiach, when it is not. So it's even double evil when we partake in Christmas. Christmas is not for us. Let the white man have him Christmas. Let him have him Christmas. See, let me continue reading. What is celebrated today is a combination of biblical stories of the birth of Jesus and the year-end pagan traditions. There always have been a year-end pagan tradition. What the oppressor or slave master did approximately about 2,000 years ago, before you, I mentioned 2,000 years ago, our studies not go so far. What I mean our studies me attack black people. We don't want to know nothing further than slavery. See? Approximately 2,000 years ago, when they unalived our king, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, they decide say, hey, let's make FIRME birthday December the 25th because the people them love him. You understand? And instead of we going around unaliving everybody that follows him, let's just tell them that we serve him too. And him born December the 25th. And if you want to serve him, come to us. Then basically bridge the current of the message of the Bible. Then bridge the current. You know what I mean? So watch this now. Let's continue. It said the holidays, so like the earliest day of Mithraism, the Persian religion that worshipped the sun, was December the 25th. It was after the winter solstice, and it celebrated that day as the birth of the sun. So now you see different dimensions of what this year-end pagan tradition meant to different people, because it had, it had one origin But as time continues, other people remix it, but kept the practices intact because this is what they knew and this is what they are running with. You know what I mean? Let's continue. It was after the winter solstice and it celebrated that day as the birth of the sun. Besides the sacrifice to Misra, it was celebrated with food, drinks, and gifts. The Romans adopted this tradition. He just mentioned the Persians, but now gone to the Romans. So from the Persians to the Romans is about 500 years. They're about approximately. You know what I mean? Give or take 100 years. See? But worship a different deity though. Look now, look how them do it. And that is why we don't want nobody to say, well, we are celebrating Jesus. You know what I mean? We don't care where it come from, we are celebrating Jesus. That's not new. Different nations and kingdoms used to just swap out the Christmas deity when them feel like, but kept the practices. So you swapping it out to make it about Jesus is no different from what the heathens used to do. You understand? Let's continue reading. So you can't come now and say, boy, no. Me know what you say, but to me about Jesus. Well, that everybody used to do that. We are doing new. Let me read that again for those who probably never hear it. See? It said the Romans adopted this tradition but worship a different deity. So the same tradition, but them just swap it out for what is popular at the time. So keep the practice, but let's make it about Bob Marley. Me just give you an example. Bob Marley is the king of reggae. Let's say Christmas is about Bob Marley. And that's what they did during the time of after them unalive Christ. Them just swap out whatever them used to do before with the popular thing. Jesus was the popular thing during that time, so they make it about Jesus. So whoever that try follow Jesus sincerely, they might go say no. Oh, well, see, them a practice, them love Jesus, so I guess we not have to run no more. We not have to fight no more because everybody is now accepting Jesus, but it's just bridge the current to control the narrative. You know what I mean? Let me continue reading. In honor to this God, they celebrated a week-long festival dominated the Saturnalia, which is the worship of Saturn. You know what I mean? That planet in the sky that have the ring around it, which is named after ancient God that them used to worship. You understand? Which was just a man that them, you know what I mean, them made into a God after he died. See, that's how gods were created. Buddha, Allah, all of them. You know what I mean? Men who lived that them turned into a God. Them try to do the same thing with Jesus, but Jesus never tell us that him is God. Or he is the Most High. But Christianity do the same thing with our King Yahweh Shai Mashiach, calling him God Almighty. When he was not God Almighty, he said he was sent by God Almighty. So that is paganism in a nutshell. Them turn a popular man into the God that you should worship, but guess what? They control the narrative. They dictate how you worship this man or this new God. See? And whatever custom that they accept and adapt throughout them generations, they just merge it into it, and now you just follow everything under the you know what I mean, the name of this new God that you like. You understand? But it doesn't make it right. It's still an abomination because the practice, you know what I mean, comes from an abomination. Let me continue read. This said, the Saturnalia, the ancient Roman celebration, the Saturnalia festival from the 17th to the 24th of December. December the 25th was the culmination of the celebration. You know what I mean? So it started from the 17th, you know what I mean, to the 24th, and 25th was now the main day. See? In honor of the birth of the invincible Son. And that is why Christianity always talk about the Son of God and rare. because it's really not the S-O-N but the S-U-N to them. Because this is the minors with Romans who create the Christianity where you sit down in a church and clap about me. You sit down and a clap and a roll upon the ground and a foam at the mount and a hallelujah, the Romans them will kill Jesus. You can imagine the Romans kill him and then I will tell you how to worship him. I tell you who he is, how you must worship him, and that is God. More Christianity, but a Christian mind can't think so far. And when I say a Christian mind, I not talk everybody in the Christian church, you know. Because I know you have 1 and 2 people at the church where them just know say something all right. You understand? So them people are we looking to where we teach and understand it. Then, but the majority, the Christian mind, can't accept that. Because I say the witchcraft or the sorcery of Christianity too strong. You understand? Let me continue reading. So it's a Latin, dies naltis solis invictus, being past the winter solstice, the moment in which the sun reaches its lowest point, the day starts to be longer every day. You know what I mean? The Saturnalia was celebrated in honor of Saturn, right? So Saturnalia was the worship of Saturn. See, when you go to Greek and Roman mythology, they worship Saturn, Jupiter. You know what I mean? Not the planets, you know. The planets were named after their gods. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why were the planets named after these Roman gods? Anybody in the chat? We are going to 15 seconds. Then, why were the planets named from Romans and Greek gods? Notice, they were not named after Babylonian gods. They were not named after Persian gods. They were not named after, you know what I mean, other nations, Assyrian gods or nothing. It was Roman and Greek gods. Why were the planets, not just the planets, why were the week of the days of the week and the months of the year named after Roman and Greek gods? If anybody get this right, yo, would I be so surprised. Anybody? May I go to 15 more seconds? 10. If anybody can answer this, would I be so surprised. That means that Jamaica finally have people who are learn Wagwan. 5. All right, nobody know. The reason why the months of the years, the days of the week, well, on somebody said something. Because Rome didn't die, it only transitioned into another way. Yeah, you're right, but this is the answer we may look for. You're right, brother. Mr. J, you're right. The reason why the month of the year, the days of the week, and even the planets in the sky, you know what I mean, is named after Roman gods, is because the white man is the Romans. The white man who rules the earth is the children of the Romans. Rome and Greek are white people. So you're right, Mr. J, you're right, you know. But these are the answer we need to look for. The white man is the Roman. So him not go dash with the traditions of him 4 parents. No. Him go keep it. And anything him give you, just know that that is the tradition of his 4 parents. He's the winner of the war. The white man won the war of the control of earth. Now he dictates who you serve and what the name of the months of the years are, what the days of the weeks are called, and what even the planets that God set out into the, you know what I mean, the galaxy of space are called. Him dictate what they are called. That is the reason. Because the white man rules this earth. So Why would you think the white man would give you the truth of God through Christianity, which him created? He created Christianity, not the Bible, not the Bible, He created Christianity. But Christianity and the Bible is two different things. Christianity is the tradition of the oppressor. See, the Bible is the tradition and the culture of blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians. The slaves that he enslaved. So now, here we have to do now. The Bible is such a powerful record, and it has already been spread. You can't burn every Bible. So what you have to do? You have to sidestep it, you have to bridge it. You understand? You have to know, say, the Bible belongs to me. Jesus is white. And now that Jesus is white, he's born on December the 25th. But that part then in the Bible. And Jesus wants you to celebrate Christmas. That part then in the Bible neither. See? So now in mixing theme for parents custom in your records. Not in the records itself when you read it, but in the practice when you create called Christianity. So now you ignore the records itself, which is the Bible, and you focus on the institution when you create called Christianity. And anything Christianity tells you that the Bible says, you accept it. And that is the reason why you have a Christmas tree in your house, even though the Bible calls it an abomination. You understand? You are just living in assimilation of the oppressor's reality. That's all we're doing. We're living in the oppressor's world. Him tell us what to celebrate. Him tell us what to eat, what to drink. You know what I mean? Him tell us what to sing. Him tell us how to act. Him tell us what is right. Him tell us what is wrong. So now it appears that the oppressor is God. And not the God with the Bible talk about. Let me continue reading. See? So it said, the Saturnalia was celebrated in honor of Saturn, the god of the fire and the harvest. To be able to harvest, you need the sun's light and heat. That is why the Romans, which is the white man, worship Saturn in the middle of winter, so that it may return to heat the earth and make it fruitful. That is the superstition that they had about the planet Saturn. You know what I mean? Let's continue. So that they may prosper during the course of the coming year. In his honor, they would light candles and torches. All right, we're going to leave that right there. So, that is where Christmas started. When we say Christmas, we attack them little silly, you know what I mean, holiday dates. You know what I mean? Where the oppressor set up. No, we are going to give the history of how this whole conspiracy started. See? This started at a time when mankind was recouping. After the Most High flooded the earth and unalive all the people who were mixed marriaging and interracial marriaging and messing up the thing, and you know what I mean? The people who he chose was now mixing with other people. He flooded the earth and chose Noah. And said, Noah, you and your three sons and their wives and your wife will go repopulate the earth. See? But them people here, me I get rid of them, you know, because them not listen to what me I say, you know. Go start fresh. You understand? So after I flood the earth, mankind was now recouping, populating back the earth, and you know what I mean? The first ruler of the known world, not the first ruler, you know, but the first world power was a man called Nimrod. You know what I mean? He was so powerful that in years after his death, he became considered a god. That's how powerful Nimrod got. You know what I mean? We will read something now. All right, hold on. 1 second. We're going to read from a man called Flavius Josephus. See? So we're going to tell you who Flavius Josephus was. So this was a first century Roman-Jewish historian. Why a Roman-Jewish historian? So first and foremost, first century was before the year 100. Was the first century after the death of Christ. So after Christ died, then the next century would be the first century. See? The century following Christ's death would be the first century. So this man lived not too far, not too long before Christ, after Christ died. The black man named Jesus Christ. See? His name Flavius Josephus. Josephus is Greek for Joseph or Yasaf in the Hebrew. He was, them say, a Roman Jewish. What it mean? It mean he was a Jew or a man from the tribe of Judah, either Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, because Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were called Jews. See, because we all lived in Judea. You know what I mean? Judea. Whoever live in Judea, them called Jews. See? So he was an Israelite who was a Roman citizen. So he just witnessed Christ's death, the Romans conquering and abusing him people. But he was a scholar. He was a bright spark. You know what I mean? He was a scholar. I'm read Josephus, and not only a scholar, he was a leader of men. I mean, he got to war. He have him little, you call it now, him little group where he have to go around and fight. But him never done. He was a warrior, you know, but he never done. He was also a scholar. But you have to read Josephus, Flavius Josephus writings to know what go on. But he was a scholar from 2,000 years approximately ago. You don't have much records that, you know what I mean, survive so long, or what the oppressor would even allow for you to read. But we have one from one of our brothers, a black man called Flavius Josephus, who lived in Rome. See? So it said he was a Rome-Jewish historian, scholar, military leader, like what I tell you. Because when you read it, him go to war, and bad man. See? But him bright. And I like our bad man them today. See? Him know what was at stake. Him never, in the truth though, him never keep the laws and rare. He was just a historian that took records. See? So this is where him write. And him write this based off of what him know coming, you know what I mean, from being an Israelite and what him know coming through the Israelite knowledge and learning about, you know what I mean, our records and history. See? So it's concerning the Tower of Babel and the confusion of tongues. See, it said, now the son of Noah, this is him write, you know. He might write down from beginning, can start this way, and him then end up in some war where him end up in about this is where he might tell him. He might write it like he might write his own scripture, but he never in the truth, so this never make the Bible. This couldn't make the Bible because he never served the Most High. He wasn't a prophet. He was just a historian. See? Now the son of Noah were three, Shem, Japheth, born 100 years before the deluge. So right after the deluge, Shem, Ham, Japheth. This is history me I read, you know. In time past, history used to write about what the Bible write about. But in times now, the oppressor would rather you forget about the Bible because it's not his history. He would rather you learn the Bible through Christianity, but you know what I mean? Let me continue. These first of all descend from the mountains into the plains and fixed their habitation there and persuaded others who were greatly afraid of the lower ground on account of the flood, and so were very loath to come down from the higher places to venture to follow their example. Now the plain in which they first dwelt was called Shinar, or Sumer, or Mesopotamia. You know how the oppressor like to say that civilization started in Africa. This is the civilization that started. And Shinar, Sumer, or Mesopotamia, these are the different names it had. Here's another name, Babylon. See? Never was in Africa. People never gone down in Africa yet. The Most High flood the known world. People dead. Now they have to repopulate back the earth. Nobody not reach down in Africa yet. Nobody not reach Africa yet. See? Let's continue. So don't make nobody fool about Africa, this Africa. Virgin, listen man. Then leg of this African madness. See? We are here history. When we give, yes, notice when we break down history, we not stop at the foot of some, we give thousands of years history. Thousands of years. You understand? Let me continue. So this said, now the plain in which they first dwelt was called Shinar. God also commanded them to send colonies abroad. So at this point, the Most High, everybody knows that the Most High exists. You understand? The Most High always have one man when him choose for lead. Zin? Everybody know and the mother. All Nimrod, we are going to show you soon. Everybody and their mother knows that God real. Today, we don't do all manner of evil and think God now watch. See, everybody, and this is approximately about 4,000 years, this is enough. 4 to 5 or probably 6,000 years ago. This is not no millions of years ago me I tell about it. This way Josephus write this approximately 2,000 years ago. And he might write about an event that happened probably 4,000 years before when he start write. The earth is not no millions of years old. Lie. The white man, white lie. And at this time when Josephus write about, everybody and their mother knows that God real. Zane, let me continue read. So it's a God also commanded them to send colonies abroad. The Most High say, all right, here what? Flood the earth. I just, enough for you multiply. Send some people for to populate Africa. Send some people for to populate Asia. Send some people go so send colonies abroad. One who can't stay here so. The earth big. Go on. You know what I mean? Spreading the wings. This is what we want to do. See, so he commanded them to send colonies abroad. Send some people so, send some people so, send some people so. One on to each up yourself. More wealth and food than down there so. See? Let's continue. For the thorough peopling of the earth. So the Most High want them to people the earth or populate the earth. That's where the word population come from. See? That they might not raise sedition amongst themselves. Yeah, because when there's a fight over the little resource that they write us up, when you get enough this now, you can share for the whole out. See? But wholly more things the back that side over there, over here, go on over there and populate the earth. You know what I mean? Let's continue. that they might not raise sedition amongst themselves, but might cultivate a great part of the earth. Yeah, that the most I want the entire earth to be populated with mankind. You know what I mean? Let's continue. And enjoy its fruits, because you have fruits are waste for you're only in like 1% of the earth right now. You have everything a waste all around the earth. Send colonies out. See? Let's continue, it said. But might cultivate a great part of the earth and enjoy its fruits after a plentiful manner. But they were so ill instructed that they did not obey God. So somebody instructed them otherwise. Somebody tell them, don't go nowhere. Stay here, sir. And why would they do that? Let's continue. But they were so ill instructed that they did not obey God, for which reason they fell into calamities. Why? Because now we don't have shorts, you know what I mean, food shortage, you know what I mean, water shortage, because on the decide we don't want to leave here so and spread out further. We just want to stay here so and the resource can't maintain it. See? So they meet calamities and were made sensible by experience. So now they might experience hardship, which they never, the most time never intend for them for you know what I mean, for experience. See? By experience of what sin they had been guilty. So the sin that they committed was disobeying God. You know what I mean? For when they flourish with a numerous youth, them flourish, them have whole heap of pitney, them time the man have probably 100 pitney. People are come on the earth by the, you know what I mean, whole heap. You can imagine the sex drive and the stamina with them people that did have back, and the fertility with them people that did have back then time. Them are populate the earth. Not the earth, but the little location where them decide them are going to stay. They live on the plane. After them come off of the mountain, because we know that after the flood, the ark rested on Mount Ararat. And then them come down, populate. And them no move, them just stay in the vicinity. They don't want to go, you know what I mean, further out. They don't want to venture. But why do? See? For when they flourish with numerous youth, God admonished them again to send out colonies. As them get more multiplied, God said, come on, you know, have to spread out, you know, analyze each other for resource. You know, commit sin because of lack of resource. You know, go spread out. See? Let's continue. But they imagining the prosperity they enjoyed was not derived from the favor of God, but suppose that their own power was the proper cause of plentiful condition they were in, did not obey him. Nay, they added to their disobedience to the divine will. The suspicion that they were therefore ordered to send out separate colonies, that being divided asunder, they might be more easily be oppressed. You know what I mean? So them start think mess up, corrupt. But who caused that though? I'll tell you who caused that. No, it was Nimrod who excited them. No, this is a man, Josephus, Lavius, what name? Find him name. Flavius Josephus. At write down what him know through with history, you know. We got the oracles of God, so we know the history of the earth. Nobody don't know it. Nobody can claim say them have the history of this earth. We have it. And we have it from the beginning, and we have the future too, which is in the book of Revelation, Isaiah, and all them things there. Prophecies. We get the beginning and the end. And Josephus, I tell you where him know. when learn being an Israelite. See? So, no, it was Nimrod who excited them to such an affront and a contempt of God. This man called Nimrod is the person who made the people them feel like them not to trust God. He was the grandson of Ham. Remember, Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Ham was 1 son, and he had a son which had Nimrod. So Nimrod is a 3rd generation from Noah. 3rd or 4th generation from Noah. See? Remember, them people are never dead at 75 and real. Them people are dead at 300 and 200 years old. So they have whole heap of picnic. See? Before the flood, man that lived about 800 and 900 years old. Most I cut that short. Them did not live long to car. Noah live long. I think Noah lived for about 700 years. You understand? People that live long them time, yeah. So them populate whole heap. This Nimrod, a 4th generation from Noah, him start a conspiracy. See? A bold man, the Bible also said he was a mighty hunter. We will read that. Now Josephus I tell us in the bold, meaning he became a king basically. Because anybody were exceptionally bold but eventually lead. He eventually become a king. He rule the known, you know what I mean, era them time them be strong. Nobody not dare fight Nimrod. Nimrod is a mighty hunter, skill fighter. He eventually have a rule. You know what I mean? Nimrod run the place. And him run this big kingdom. The ruler of the known world them time there. Nobody not know nowhere else. You know what I mean? I run the place. So now, wait a sec. 1 second. A bold man and of great strength of hand, meaning can fight, him a warrior. He persuaded them not to ascribe to God, as if was true his means, they were happy. So he was a king. He set up a system. And FIRME system bring food, it bring security, it bring water. You know, if you go look water run through the city. You know what I mean? Food is being sold in the market. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Not everybody have to be a farmer. But just give you some examples so you can understand the mind frame or what the changing times where they go on. Nimrod set up a system. Don't look on it like from a dunce point of view. I not call uno dunce, you know, but like a shallow point of view where you say a caveman days then. No, them people are really intelligent. So he build cities. You know what I mean? He might build systems, he might put systems in place. He knows not dunce. No one ever dunce. No one build an ark. We're keeping, you know what I mean, different species of animals. And it survived at 40 days and 40 night flood, which the water never even subsided till long after either. You have to know maths if you can build such a great ship. No one ever done. Them never done. Adam never. Remember said Noah was the great grandson of Adam. You know? And Adam, the Most High, teach the secrets of the earth. You know, that was the tree of life where the Most High teach Adam. You know, and teach him the mysteries of the earth. Teach him laws, tell him what is food and what is not food. Don't eat swine. That's not food. Don't eat shrimp. That's not food. You can eat goat. You can eat sheep. You can eat bullock, eat fish. This is food. This is not food. You know what I mean? This is how you do this. This is not how you do certain things. So much so that no Adam named the animal them. He named all of them. That is how we call it now, sophisticated Adam became. And think of it like this. Don't think of Adam as the only man on earth. Adam wasn't the only man on earth. He wasn't the first man on earth. Adam lived amongst other people, but Adam ruled because God gave him rulership and gave him knowledge that nobody else to have. So Adam eventually became a ruler. You understand? Adam wasn't done. Adam knew the myth. Adam probably wiser than all your scientists today. The Most High give him the mysteries directly from the Most High. Teach him everything we need to learn about this earth. Adam was wise. And next wise man we came up was Solomon. So don't think say nobody done. Then how he would have built an ark. That take mathematics and tools and this big old thing. That should have make you know say don't look down upon the Bible. The Bible has said. Alright, I'm showing you something. The Bible said the earth round, you know. How you think them know say the earth is round? Today scientists have got space and look on the earth. And I tell you say the earth's a sphere. But the Bible have that thousands of years ago. And them thing you have to look into it and know say the Bible solid. Don't make nobody trick on the mind against the Bible. The Bible said the earth round, and who didn't know said the earth round them time the God. You understand? But don't look at biblical figures as dons. They never have carrier, they never have computer, they probably have something different and something better. You understand? But just I'll give you an example. So Noah wasn't dunce. Nimrod wasn't dunce. So much so that he built a tower so tall that it appears that it had got space. Because that was in plan to build this tall tower, because even though him never done, him knowledge still limited. Him think God they up there so. Where him go fight God. See? Alright, but continue reading. So this said, but to Slakia, as if it was through his means they were happy. So it built a system. You know what I mean? He had the first world power, first world order. Nimrod created the first world order. One order, everybody I live by. Nobody now live over there so by them own self and them tribe and bring everybody together. But that's why the most time, not that's why, but the most time I don't agree with this everybody coming together, you know, like, you know, white people coming together with Chinese people. Most time I believe in that, you know. The most I believe the Chinese people to live with Chinese people. That's why I make them so. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the children of Israel, FIRME people, live amongst them. And even when you live amongst each tribe, live amongst them one another. So the Native Indians live within the nation of Israel within them tribe. We, Benjamin, live within our tribe. Judah live within them tribe. The Hispanics live within them tribe, talking about Ephraim and them. But we are one people, same way. So the most time I believe in this, everybody come together, melting pot. You sleep with white woman, you sleep with Africans, right? No. But Nimrod did that. He get everybody to come together. See, let's continue. But to believe that it was their own courage which procured that happiness. So in build a system will work and it make them say, see, we can't live without God. Yeah, him fall the rain, but look, we are harvest water for ourselves, we are generate electricity. Look what we are going. We say electricity, but probably electricity never exists. But me don't know. We just know say them never done. You understand? So him show them say, yo, we can do things by our own, we don't need God. Why him do that? Because now him start feel like him a God. You get what I say? Him start, him see the power where him have over the people. So if everybody ever serve God, them now go serve him. Him now go have them obedient to him. So guess what him do? Him turn the people in mind against God. You understand? Let's continue. He also gradually changed the government into tyranny. So now, so the same prosperity thing, right? Where must say, yo, we are do well for ourselves, we don't need God. It eventually turning our tyranny, oppression, and all them start oppress the people, which it always eventually end up. You know what I mean? Let's continue. Seeing no other way of turning men from the fear of God, but to bring them into a constant dependence of his power. So guess what I'm doing now? So him turn the people in mind from God, but not completely. Zane? So here I have to do, I have to use tyranny. I have to use oppression now. Force them to turn against God. If you serve God, punishment. But just give you an example. See? Them little thing, like what the oppressor do. If you want to serve God and keep him laws, them and thing and rare, you ostracize. You know what I mean? If you're not one Christian, you get pushed out of society. If you notice how society run today, all of the workplace them are Christians. You know what I mean? All of them are Christians. All the one them were fornicate and do all sort of evil in the workplace. All of them are come from church. You know what I mean? Being a Christian don't mean you're righteous. It just means that you're a Christian. You believe in the oppressor propaganda. You know what I mean? But let me continue though. See? So it said, he also gradually changed the government into tyranny, seeing no other way of turning men from the fear of God, but to bring them into a constant dependence on his power. So he set it away where in order for you to eat food, you have to go through FIRME system. In order for drink water, I just give some scenarios so you understand. See? He make it a way where if you survive, you have to go through him. This is no Duns caveman. This is not a caveman. This is a sophisticated oppressor. Dictatorship. You know what I mean? Let's continue. But to bring them into constant dependence on his power. He also said he would be revenged on God. What do you mean by revenged on God? Meaning more revenge against God. Why? If he should have a mind to drown the world again. So the Most High did drown the world before him. Him don't want that happen again. At this point, I guess him feel like him equal to God. Because him rule everybody. See? So what would be worse than God flooding him kingdom and him down a rulership again? Him don't want that. So here where imagination develop. Him want revenge against God. See? If he should have a mind to drown the world again, for that he would build a tower too high for the water to be able to reach, and that he would avenge himself and God for destroying their forefather. So here we plan. See the same Tower of Babel where the Bible talk about, this is the reason. He wanted to build a tower so high that flooding it, you know what I mean, flooding the earth wouldn't affect it. So he might build a tower, so when the flood come, if the flood should come again, which you know he's a disobedient bastard, because God don't promise him now flood the earth again. But this is how corrupt his mind became because of power and greed. Him say, here what? I'm going to build a tower because the only person in my way of rulership is God. So if him flood the earth again, we're going to have this tower where it's so high that the flood won't affect it. And where we can reach up into heaven and fight God. Because we know him up there, so. If they're up there, so we can't really see, but we know him up there. We're going to find him, and that was his imagination. Not knowing that God don't even live in this dimension. If you even go in a space, you can't find God. You understand? Anyway, let's continue. but to bring them into a slack. I'm read that already. So him said, and that he would avenge himself and God to destroying their forefathers. So here him hypocrisy now, as if he loved him forefathers. Oh, God flood the earth and kill off our forefathers. That's a propaganda. You can't just imagine what him that said. Something like what Donald Trump would have said today. You know what I mean? Oh, God flood and kill off our forefathers. You know what I mean? We need to fight God so that he don't do the same thing to us and rally people against, you know what I mean, God. See? And who now listen, him oppress them. You know what I mean? Let's continue. Now the multitudes were very ready to follow the determination of Nimrod and to esteem it a piece of cowardice to submit to God. So here is where the spirit of you being righteous is seen as weak comes from. Now, them spread the propaganda that, hey, if you fear God, you're a coward, you know. Afraid of God, and blah, blah, blah. You're a man. So the oppressor have the same mentality. So why you believe in a God that God raised? Look at technology today. You don't have to believe in God, That same mind, that same spirit that come back in to the time. You know what I mean? Let's continue. So, and to esteem it a piece of cowardice to submit to God. And they build a tower, neither sparing any pain, nor being in any degree negligent about the work. And by reason of the multitude of and employed in it, it grew very high. So many people were a part of building this tower, that it was building fast and high. You know what I mean? Sooner than anyone could expect. But the thickness of it was so great and it was so strongly built that thereby its great height seemed upon the view to be less than it really was. So because it was so well built, which show you that this was not no cave people. The white man was a caveman, yes, but intelligent people exist before the caveman. See? This was well constructed and the width was so wide that you didn't even realize how high it was. It's a big piece of construction. Zane, let's continue. It was built of burnt bricks. So this wasn't built by mud and straw. This was bricks. You know what I mean? Let's continue. Cemented together with mortar, made of bitumen, that it might not be liable to admit water. So the same mortar that Noah used on the ark to prevent it from leaking. They used on that too. You understand? Let's continue. This is an Israelite man after Roman captivity, a right, and I tell you wagwan from time past. He does a beard from beginning to end. You know what I mean? He's a historian. You know what I mean? Just a tell you wagwan. And it match up with the Bible. See? Let's continue. When God saw that they acted so madly, he did not resolve to destroy them utterly, since they were not grown wiser by the destruction of the former sinners. But he caused a tumult among them by producing in them diverse language and causing that through multitude of those languages, they should not be able to understand one another. So eventually, most time over time, him just make them language change up. But they can't understand each other no more. You know what I mean? All right, this is Flavius Josephus, an Israelite historian during the 1st century. And basically, I give you a more vivid account of what happened at the Tower of Babel with Nimrod. See? Let's continue. You can go read it yourself, or you can just get in our classes and, you know what I mean, learn the things then that we can save people, you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for the UPK, no, them knowledge I would come out. Them are knowledge where the oppressor want bury. You know what I mean? And keep people ignorant. You know what I mean? Yeah, so. All right, what me do? But he caused a tumult amongst them by producing in them diverse languages, and caused that through the multitude of their language, they should not be able to understand one another. The place wherein they build the tower is now called Babylon. Right. So watch this now. This is the point. Feast of dedication or Hanukkah finish already here. Angle La. Feast of dedication finish already. See? All right. So Slovakia. So this was called Babylon. Why? Because the most cause of confusion of tongue. This is ancient Babylon. But this ancient Babylon was ruled by who? The children of Cush, the Ethiopians. Because we know today, we're going to read it. See, we're going to show you what I go on. We're going to break down Christmas, but we are mash down everything at once. See? So, Nimrod was a Cushite because he was the son of Cush. So, the Cushites were in power. This Babylon was the Cushites' land. They became the Ethiopians. These were Ethiopians. Not everybody was Ethiopians, but the king himself was an Ethiopian or a descendant of Cush, which we know Cush eventually became the land of Ethiopia. So why we bring this up? All right. This love Ethiopia madness that we have been brainwashed into is not a good thing. Because the Ethiopians were not good people. Ethiopia was Babylon. You understand? Ethiopia was Babylon. Ethiopia was Shuma. Ethiopian was Mesopotamia, and Ethiopia was Babylon at the same place. And it never started in Africa. Notice where Ethiopia there. Ethiopia is on the west side of Africa, right at the beak. Why is it? Because the original Ethiopia was in the Middle East, in the land of Shuma, Mesopotamia or Babylon. And then them spread over time, them spread to the west coast and the east coast of Africa and called that place Ethiopia. Eventually, because no more Ethiopia exists in the Middle East, only that part in Africa now became Ethiopia. And that is where the Rasta them said, but the real Ethiopia was Babylon, ruled by the Cushites, the children of Am, which were the Africans, which eventually became the Africans. Now, with this time when I read, there is no such name of Africa. As a matter of fact, Africa wasn't even populated as yet. These same Cushites eventually went down into Africa. The Amites, the Canaanites, bear in mind, them never go down there just so. Them eventually ruled the Middle East first. Bear in mind, Africa did not have any people. So this great thing where them are trying to make Africa out to be, it's a lie. You know how them people eventually became Africans and living in the land? We kick them out. At the Middle East, the most I get tired of them and their wickedness. And wish and tell us to analyze them and shoot them out. I saw them become Africans now. Even though the name Africa is just the name of a white man who eventually conquered sometime a couple hundred years ago. So them change the name. I know the real name that. But me just use Africa so you understand where me talk from. All right, this time period was approximately about 6,000, 5,000 years ago. See? No. The time period where we kicked them out of the land, approximately 3,000 years ago. thereabout. We kick them out, island, and then eventually populate Africa. Angola. All right, so if your brother, if your four parents were descended from the transatlantic slave trades, Zane, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, let me say it this way, are the real Israelites. Zane, we are the real Israelites. When you say Jews now, you talk about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know what I mean? We should be black Americans, Asians, and Caribbean black people. Those are the Jews. Zane? All right, so somebody said before Egypt. No, yeah, Ethiopia is before Egypt. All right, who is so all right. So had 4 sons. Cush, Canaan. Let me find it. Let me just find it for you. Cush and Egypt are brothers. See? Let me find it quick and fast. Excellent question, by the way. One second. All right, so remember we read about Shem, and Japheth. So this is Zin. We're going to show you the children of Zin. So he said, so Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years after the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races. So the dark-skinned people, you know, them pitch black looking people, he was their father. Zin? So it said he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. So not we, but the other dark-skinned people there. See? So these are the dark-skinned people. But the Egyptians, so the Egyptians come from a man, which is the son of Am, called Matazariam or Mizraim in the Greek. See? So this man is the father of the Egyptians. There's no land called Egypt still, you know. The Greeks call it Egypt. You know what them call it Egypt? Them call it Egypt. Egypt means bondage. Because the history of Egypt was that they had a certain people as slaves. So the Greeks eventually call it bondage. That's all our house of bondage. But the real name of that land is named after Ham, which in different pronunciations is called Kam, which means hot. You understand? Because they were so dark skinned. So Ham or Kam or Kem or Kemet. You understand? The word Egypt is a modern name. So, but the Matazarians, which eventually named their land after them father, Ham or Kam, Kemet, Zin, these people are the people that live in Egypt. These are the Egyptians, the original Egyptian, the black-skinned people where you see on the hieroglyphics, and you know what I mean, with the dog-head and red, that was them religion, the whole dog-head business and red, isn't it? So, but look, Zin. So first son is Egypt or Matazarian, Zin. Then Ethiopia, which is Cush. Ask any Rastaman we like to big up Ethiopia. Them know this. See? As a matter of fact, I ask none of them. I stick to we, because so far the Rastafarians have not done a good job. See? So Ethiopia is Cush. See? Then you have Libya. Libya is foot. Footite. The Libyans them, These are the four main tribes of Africans. You know. See? The Libyans and the Canaanites. These are the Hamites, are the Africans. See? So, all right. So, in terms of Egypt being before Ethiopia as a kingdom, no. Ethiopia was before Egypt, or Kemet, right? Egypt eventually become great and enslaved we. And the Most High destroy Egypt. Right now, Egypt is a desert. You understand? So, all right, what we did then now? All right, so we read about the Tower of Babylon, right? We're now going to further in Josephus. We are get to the Christmas part, I think now. See? Nimrod was the first. He started this whole idolatry thing. It started with him. Every foolishness where you see belief structure and rare started with Nimrod. You understand? All right, when we ever start now? Bam, bam, bam. All right. I don't need this. We ever read about Nimrod? Little more. So it said, the Nimrod tree, Nimrod, the Lord of Christmas. This is from the beginning. You know what the Bible says? In the beginning, them things are in the beginning. No, not the beginning from when the Most High created mankind, but the beginning after the flood when the Most High repopulated mankind, which we all come from Noah. Everybody on earth today come from Noah and Adam because Noah was Adam's son. But Adam wasn't the only person on earth, wasn't the first. He had other people. Well, all of them dead. So only Adam's children, through Noah, alone left on earth now. Them other people there, gone long time. See? Yeah, man. All right, so Dean Sims was Nimrod an evil dictator? Yeah, man. He go as far as to start oppress the people them and force them to don't worship the Most High and put in their mind the concept of fighting and defeating God, which was impossible. He just never know. But he was, yeah, man, the epitome of evil. He is the reason why. All right, Mother said Nimrod is the author of all tyranny on the earth. Him are the art and him crafty. That's why the Bible mentioned him. I'm going to read that scripture there, by the way. See? So this is Genesis 10 and 8, where I read from 8 to 12. And it says, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty man. It's like a mighty one on the earth. Verse 9, this is the Bible now. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. What do you mean by a mighty hunter? When you hunt, you know just hunt deer, you hunt bears, and he was a warrior. Mighty. He hunt man, he conquer. See? He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even so, he even have a saying. They have a saying about him. Even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. You know what I mean? Like them basically a big him up to how strong he was or bad. You know what I mean? 10. And began, the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, and in the land of Shinar, the same Sumer or Mesopotamia. That is the cradle of civilization, not Africa. You understand? 11. Out of the land went forth Asher and built Nineveh and the city Rehoboth and Calais. So these are the cities that he built. You know what I mean? Let me read this now. This is the Bible account of them building the tower. It says Genesis 11 and 1. We're going to read from, I don't think we need to read from 1 to 9. Might just skip through. It says, and the whole earth was of one language and one speech. Verse 2, and it came to pass, as they sojourned from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar or Suma, and they dwelt there. Verse 3, and they said one to another, go to, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly. And they had bricks for stone, and slime had they for mortar. Verse 4, and they said, go, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. The Bible never tell you, say, a Nimrod make them do this. Josephus, I make you know, say, him. See? So, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name. Let a Nimrod say, I do all of this, you know. Let us make us a name, and Ray, Te, and Ray, we a great nation, and Ra, and you know what I mean? So basically that's it. Verse 5, and the Lord came down and see the city and the tower which the children of men built. Verse 6, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and the Most High just mess up them tongue. And the Most High send angels. You know what I mean? I never read the part where thing that Josephus said, the Most High sending angels, but just know the Most High sending angels, them do what them for do. Eventually, nobody not understand nobody. You know what I mean? One set speaks, you know what I mean, a different language over here. So when everybody used to speak Hebrew, only one set of people was remained with the original language, and that was the children of Shem. You know what I mean? All right. So we're going to read about Nimrod, the Lord of Christmas. Then the same evil bastard, the evilest, but I said the evilest man for what the face of the earth. Why? Him are the only man, except for the white man today, who think him can fight God. Fight the Almighty. You know, some people that say, yo, me not believe in a God, me not worship God, or rare. That bad enough. This man say, more fight God. This is his birthday, December the 25th. That is what you are doing. So when you sit down and you say, Lord, I pray that you bless my family with the Christmas tree, God, I go burn down your house. You understand? Anyway. The Nimrod tree, Nimrod, the Lord of Christmas. Nimrod started the great organized world apostasy from God that has dominated this world until now. Nimrod is the beginning of that. See, Nimrod married his own mother, whose name was Semiramis or Semiramis. Her name is also Ishtar. She is the god of Easter. Easter comes from Ishtar. That's her. So Christmas is Nimrod, and Easter is his wife / mother. Nothing never change up. Them just pass it on through generation and remodel it and rename it. I same thing. The Bible said, there is nothing new under the sun, and the Most High did really mean that. Nothing new. Where you think you know been before. Yeah, man, same Nimrod, man. Yo, Nimrod are the worst. May I tell you. The Bible just never go in a detail about him, but the history then did it. You know what I mean? Nimrod married his own mother, whose name was Semiramis. After Nimrod's death, his so-called mother / wife, Semiramis, propagated the evil doctrine of the survival of Nimrod as a spirit being. She claimed a full-grown evergreen tree sprang overnight from a dead tree stump, which symbolized the springing forth unto new life of the dead Nimrod. This is the evergreen tree. And that has been a custom from them time there, approximately what, almost 1,000 years ago till now. It's still in your house today. Nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? Let's continue. So she said, Nimrod not dead. After I'm dead, she spread the propaganda saying, don't dead, but in spirit in a evergreen tree. You know what I mean? Let's continue. She claims, like I'm reading that already. On each anniversary of his birth, she claimed Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gift upon it. December the 25th was the birthday of Nimrod. And you're getting ready to celebrate Nimrod's birthday tomorrow. Have fun. See? So, The doctrine of this tree is that Nimrod put gifts under the tree. That's why you put a gift under your tree and tell you pick them about Santa Claus. By the way, Santa Claus was created about 100 years ago by Coca-Cola. Them plagiarizing the story of a black man that lived in Russia who used to give gifts to the homeless orphans. So them create a man named Santa Claus 100 years ago to sell Coca-Cola. And today you celebrate Nimrod's birthday and tell your children that Santa Claus put gifts, bring gifts and put it under the tree. You understand? And then when your children find out that Santa Claus not real, they say, oh, Jesus' birthday. And this will go on before Jesus born. Let's continue. December the 25th was the birthday of Nimrod. This is the real origin of the Christmas tree. And let me elaborate some more upon the Christmas tree. So, what Semiramis, aka Ishtar, aka Easter, the wife of Nimrod / his mother, used to do was tell everybody to put a gift under the tree. And who don't obey to put a gift under the tree, them head would be cut off. Nimrod's spirit would come cut off them head and put it on the tree, but not no go so, right? What she would do is send soldiers to your house, cut off your head, and then hang it on the tree for everybody to see. That is where the Christmas balls come from. Those are heads. The Christmas balls that you put on the tree was once people's heads. You understand? That's what she used to do. So now today, you get ready to celebrate Nimrod's birthday, the man who think he could war God. You know what I mean? The man, the craziest man on earth, different from the white man, because the white man have weapons in space and get ready for Jesus' return. You know what I mean? Or Yahweh Mashiach return. That's why I have so much movies with alien invasion. Yeah, no aliens. Christ a return like our records, like our foreparents right now. And the white man are prepared for that. That's why Trump created the Space Force. You understand? But anyway, let me see them comments. Alright, well, I'm not go as far as black magic because magic not real, but you can call it sorcery. Meaning it brainwash people. You understand? Brainwashing and all them things. We not accept nobody right now. Yeah? No invitation. East Coast say, attack of Israel off your head. Alright, so I don't know what attack is, or the TAK. What you mean by that? But I assume you talk about the shield of David. See? This is just David name spelled in Hebrew. Probably next week we do a class about it. I'll show you what it is. This is just 2 Hebrew letters. David name would include a third one, but you just take it out and leave them 2 here. So this is a D. In Hebrew, a D is a triangle. See? He has 2 D's in his name, so he flip one upside down and he get a mad little symbol with spelling name. And it's tough. And he keep it. And that was in kingly seal. And anything where is sanctioned by the king would have that seal. Christ will rule under this symbol. It don't have magic. It's not the Freemason and the Illuminati. It doesn't belong to the fake Jews over there in Israel calling themselves the Israelis. It was taken from us when, you know what I mean, we eventually came into captivity. We have to take it back. You understand? So what we are saying is we are the Israelites. Black Hispanics and Native Indians are the real Jews, Israelites. No, man, we now celebrate the genocide now. We burn the Palestinian and we burn the Israeli, brother. You know what I mean? That is really our land, and that's not only our land, not only that part of the land, but the entire Middle East. Approximately the entire Middle East belonged to Black Hispanics and Native Indians. We were kicked out because of disobedience. Now you have Edens, a fight over our land because we went into captivity. You understand? The Bible says, a stranger shall dwell in Ashdod. That I go on and know strangers in Ashdod. You know what I mean? So tell it to them. Was Goliath a Palestinian? No. It was a Philistine. All right. Those are not the real Philistines. I don't remember if Palestine is a play on the word Philistine. I don't remember, but those are not the real Philistines. Those are just... All right, let me go as far as that. Those and the Israelis are, enough of them are the same people. You know what I mean? Those are what they call Arabs, but those are not even the real Arabs. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's a play on the word Philistine, but I have to check cap and see what goes on still. But those are not the real Philistines. Those are not the people that Samson used to fight. You know what I mean? Give me a second. Yeah, man, and the people that call themselves Arabs today, them are not the real Arabs. Arabs, them dark like the Africans. And the Egyptians are not the real Egyptians today. Those are Greek babies. Those that when Alexander the Greek invaded Egypt and many parts of Africa, you know what I mean? Them rape, them grape. The soldiers grape the people them and have, you know what I mean? Children. Them they are the children. Them are white people. See? All right, so what did they know? So yeah, that is what Semiramis did. She basically tell a story that if you don't put gifts or bring gold and silver to the tree, then, you know what I mean, Nimrod would come and cut off your head, put it on the tree, and that is where the Christmas, the balls, the Christmas balls come from, where them put on the tree. So, you know, they used to decorate the tree with gold from the gifts from the people. You know what I mean? That was fear tactic for maintain power because nobody never fear she, them fear Nimrod. You know what I mean? And Nimrod dead. So for maintain power, she pull a little stunt. You know what I mean? Just a simple little stunt and it worked. All right, I now have to read that. So here was a time when we in Israel, we used to worship this tree. So this is long after Nimrod and, you know what I mean? So this is Jeremiah 10:2. It said, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." Verse 3, "The custom of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, and the work of the hands of the workman with the axe." That is how them get this tree. Them go into the forest, you know what I mean, them chop it down with an axe. Verse 4, "They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails, with hammer, that it move not." See? Let's continue. Verse 5, "They are upright as the palm tree," meaning when them nail it, it's upright. Them keep it upright, but speak not. Right? So even though it's stand in front of you, in your house, at this time the tree was considered a god. Today you just put gifts on that, right? People used to fear this tree for the same reason why people used to fear it in the time of Semiramis. You know what I mean? Even though this was thousands of years after. See? So it said, "They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must need be born, because they cannot go." So the most I make you know, look at man, you have to bring the tree and move the tree. It can't speak. It needs be born. You have to bear the tree and move it. Be not afraid of them. Stop being afraid of the Christmas tree. Once upon a time, people was afraid of this tree. Today, you're glad to see it in your house. Once upon a time, people were afraid of this tree because they believe that Nimrod will cut off them head. And if them can't find the money to put under this tree, them head will get cut off and put on the tree. It was like rolling calf to we back then. Or dopey story. Afraid of it. Or wash your face with rice water. I saw this used to come like. All right, East Coast, I ask some question, but yeah, fire them fast. East Coast, hold on there. I'm reading this with Angela. Say, why Christians don't believe this teaching? Because Christians don't love God. Them love the way them feel in the Christian church. Oh, Christian, the music and them thing that make them feel and not being held accountable for really nothing. You can be a sinner in the Christian church. It feels good to celebrate Christmas. Every time, just imagine. See, every year you hear the Mariah Carey song come on and you hear the little Jingle Bell song. It warms your heart, you know, because memory from when you're a youth where you used to celebrate this, you know what I mean? It brings back good memories. A Christian with no integrity will not give up simple pleasure for God. So them are going to tell me, say, a lie me I tell. Or them are going to tell me, say, you know what I mean? Well, we not celebrate Nimrod. We are celebrate Jesus. You know what I mean? They make up excuse for celebrate the day anyway because them don't really care nothing about God. It's just pleasure and lust. Because them know when it comes around them time, them eat good food, you know what I mean? Which most food when they eat is unclean anyway, with pork and the ham. See? Them fornicate a lot, them get drunk, and them sleep with man, woman, and child. So this is a time of pleasure for Christians. And when I say Christian, I don't just mean the people in the church. I mean, exempt them neither. See? This is a time when the lust is at an all-time high. And nobody want to give up them lust and them pleasure for the truth. And that is unfortunate. You understand? All right, let me see where East Coast I say no. No, we're not Jewish. We are Jew. Jewish mean you're like a Jew, which the Israelis, them, or the Israelites, say them Jewish because they are not the real Jews. Black people here in Jamaica are the real Jews. Black people in America, Jews. Haitians, Jews. Caribbean black people, Jews. These are the descendants of the real tribes of, you know what I mean, citizens of Judea. These are the real Israelites, and the Hispanics are, and the native Indians are the other tribes. See? We are no Jewish flag. You need to watch some more class. I don't feel like I can go down this, you know what I mean, this road with you right now. You know what I mean? You have to just watch more class to understand. It just look like you're just a buck up our video them. You know, which obviously. See? So no, this don't belong to the Jewish man. Zane East Coast. And if you come from the East Coast, you know what I mean, you must know about the Israelites. Alright, we now go down the road there with you right now. Zane? Yeah, man. So that is the history of Christmas. You know what I mean? But This is what the most I think about all the feast days that we celebrate, which is not his feast days. Now, somebody mentioned the Feast of Dedication earlier, and I mentioned that the Feast of Dedication ended Sunday, right? But those are in the Bible. The Feast of Dedication, you know what I mean? The Feast of Purim, you know what I mean? Feast of Tabernacle, those are in the Bible. But why the Christian church celebrate these abominations and none of what the Most High give us in the Bible? That is a serious thing that we need to address. Not one of these holy days that are in the Bible the Christian church celebrate, but them celebrate Christmas though, celebrating the birthday of the man that hated God. It just want to put that in our logic. Christianity celebrates the birthday of the man that hated God, but then tell you that it's Jesus' birthday. You know what I mean? Now, man, you have to just get in, just link up with the ISUPK, man. We'll get everything. You know what I mean? We get it right, brother. Because we know a lot of other teachings out there. We see people teach where we never teach them. We never tell them that. You know what I mean? And I mislead a lot of our brothers and sisters. So because of that now, a lot of people out of sync with the real calendar of how the thing's supposed to set up. You know what I mean? So just from now on, just go and watch your class them. We have classes worldwide. ISUPK online classes. So just put ISUPK online classes, subscribe to that on YouTube. ISUPK Durham, North Carolina. You know what I mean? Those are good schools in the ISUPK, where you can learn the real thing and learn it, you know what I mean, to the T, you know? And eventually just get inside the school, because clearly you have a zeal, because rarely you hear somebody even mention the Feast of Dedication. You know what I mean? You have to be somebody who wants to serve the Most High. So that's why we implore people, get inside the school and do it the right way. The Bible itself said, the Most High is witness, now paraphrase, that you have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Meaning, you know what I mean? You have this zeal to serve God. You want to serve God, but the way you learn it the wrong way. And that's why we implore people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel. Get inside these classes, man. It's free. We're not charging nothing. You know what I mean? Get inside the class, them. You know what I mean? All right. What we did there? So this is where the most I think about them feast days here with the Christian church. You know what I mean? Promotes. This is Amos 5. Let's start at 21. It says, I despise your feast days. So if you ever wonder what God think about Christmas, this is where he think about Christmas. He hate Christmas, he despise it. And I will not smell in your soul in assembly. So when you come together around that dinner table to have that Christmas dinner, the most time now smell that. You know what I mean? You know how we used to say, sacrifice, you know what I mean, a lamb, and this would be a burnt offering, and the scent would go up into heaven. Him used to enjoy, you know what I mean? We not talk physically, but the scent is so good to him. See? When you cook your Christmas dinner, you now smell that. You know that disgusting to him. That pork the way you put by your table, this ham we are going to eat tomorrow, the most time I have nothing to do. That is your diabetes. See? That is your heart disease. You bear that. Most time I have nothing to do with that. You understand? Somebody said, Jalif said, it's a pagan ritual. Yeah, a pagan ritual. Straight out of the you know what I mean? Out of the sleeve of the oppressor. The white man will teach us every lie that we practice over here. You know what I mean? So the Most High said this, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. You get together, your parties and them thing there. Most I hate that, bridging. That's why somebody always end up unalive at some birthday part, some not birthday, but some party during this time. Somebody always get robbed. Some evil always happen this time of year. Because this time is cursed. The most like cursed Christmas. Christmas is cursed, Bridget. You understand? Verse 22. Though you offer me burnt offering and your meat offering, though you say you pray over this ham and this pork and whatever chicken or whatever, everything unclean where you eat on Christmas Day. The clean meat, like the chicken and the goat where you eat on Christmas, become unclean because of Christmas. Just like how the pork is unclean. See, so though you offering burnt offering and your meat offerings, and you pray over it, and you say, God bless this food. See, I will not accept them. The Most High is not accepting your Christmas dinner. That's your diabetes, like I say. Your heart disease, your high blood pressure. You know what I mean? Neither will I regard the peace offering of your fat beast. It not consider it a peace offering. You're going to war with the Most High when you celebrate Christmas because you celebrated the birthday of a man that think in a wild imagination that he could go to war with God. You understand? Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of your song. The Most High don't want to hear your Christmas carols. These, you know what I mean? Joy to the world and, you know what I mean? When Mariah Carey sing, I don't remember the words. The Most High don't want to hear that. It annoying to him call it nice. But yet still you have to go out there and you're going to be a statistic tomorrow. You're going to go up on the road and you're not going to come in back. You understand? Because the Most High cursed that day there. You understand? So he said, take away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melodies of thy voice. Most High don't have nothing to do with them feast days. Keep the Most High feast days that are in the Bible that we keep in the ISUPK. If you want the blessings from the Most High, keep them here with the Most High. Having at the Bible, and Christ said, Christ tell you to rehearse the righteous acts. I don't think it was Christ, but Christ said, Christ kept the Passover, you know. This is what Christ said. Do this in remembrance of me. You know what the Christian church do? Keep communion. When Christ was keeping the Passover. This is how evil Christianity is. So they don't have nothing to do with God so much that even when Christ keep the Passover, them do something else. You understand? We just a tribe, we couldn't understand how evil that day is and how evil Christianity is. And we now stop saying. We know your grandmother is a Christian and you think she's a loving individual. Your grandmother is wicked and a witch. You understand? Your grandfather, your uncle, your auntie, your mother, witch, wicked, against God. You understand? Let go of all your youthful memories where you used to love Christmas and you used to get presents. Get away from that. Start serve the Most High the right way. Again, the Most High say, you have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. You're getting the wrong teachings. You understand? If you don't know that breaking the stoplight is a crime, it does not exempt you from meeting into an accident. You understand? If you break the red light and you never know so the red light means stop, it don't mean a car now go running on your side. Because you never know. So, you know what I mean? I better you know. Learn. The Bible says, study to show thyself approved. Oh, you want to study for God, you know what I mean? University. Study a university if you get a degree. Study about the job if you get you call it, the promotion. Where you don't want to study about God, but you want God bless you. For the world, what? That can't work. You love everything but God, and that's a Christian mind. The Christian mind is them will learn everything will full them belly and make them rich. But when it comes to the God where they claim themselves, them no want to know nothing. When we open up the Bible to a Christian, no. I thought you guys were the authority of the Bible. Why you hate the Bible so? You hate the Bible more than somebody who don't believe in God. Christianity is the worst thing you could ever be. You understand? Get out of the Christian church and don't celebrate no more of them holidays. Yeah. And that is where your own good. You know what I mean? And with that, I jump to the security announcements. I think we can close off the class. Yeah, so. Can't answer the call right now. So lucky about that phone call. All right, with that, we're going to jump into the security announcements. So, basically, for those who just are coming in, just go over to ISUPK YouTube and re-watch the class. We give the complete breakdown of Christmas. How it started, whose birthday it was. You know what I mean? Just go over to ISUPK Jamaica, subscribe. ISUPK Jamaica YouTube, subscribe. You know what I mean? So when this streaming is finished, you can watch the class and replay it. And just, you know what I mean? And share it. All right, give me a second. Okay. All right, and with that, we're going to jump to the security announcements. See? So we are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules, so brothers and sisters, when a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10 means tenth in the Hebrew and it's pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like. So pay your tithes, go to isupk.com, stop feeding these Christian pastors who teach you to celebrate Christmas. All right? Pay your tithes to the ISUPK so we can do more food drive, clothes drive, feed Israel, put roof over the people, you know what I mean, over God's people's head. You know what I mean? Just basically do what the Bible says. You understand? Just research ISUPK food and clothing drive and you will see what we do. See? All right, so upcoming Holy Convocation. So the next Holy Convocation, hold on, let me see if I have it in front of me. All right, Purim, which is the 4th day of the 5th day of the 20th, yeah. The 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, Monday, March the 2nd, and Tuesday, March the 3rd. You can find this in the book of Esther 9:20 to 31. See? Reminding Akim and Akwatiam to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shabrak, Thumb. One courtesy salute to the sisters, Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Alathon, Basham, Yahweh Shai. Yadamata, class dismissed. Alright, so if you don't want to be a part of the school, just give us a call. Our details is on all our pages, you know what I mean? We know we have warriors out there who want to serve the Most High. Give us a call. We know we have sisters out there, princesses, beautiful princesses who are, you know what I mean, serve the Most High as well. Give us a call. You know what I mean? The ISUPK is the home of the truth. And with that, shalom. Yeah, man. Angela, big up yourself. Shalom.